Tinubu, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, today have signed major port deal. Well, the Prime Minister calls the visit historic, first of its kind in 37 years. The Vice President Kashim Shettima insists terrorists killing Nigerians in the Northeast region should be dealt with decisively as a visit, Bruno said, for an on-the-spot assessment. Hello everyone, and thanks so much for joining in this beautiful holiday season that we are in. This is today's edition of the program. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sean Akimale right here in our Abuja studio. Well, tonight on the program, let's first and foremost bring you some of the development from the United Kingdom, where Nigeria's leader and President Bola Tinubu has been engaging in meetings and conversations about the development of Nigeria. The president has met with the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at Downing Street in London. And there you can see the president walking down to number 10, marking a significant moment in renewed bilateral relations between both countries. The meeting, which is part of President Tinubu's ongoing state visit to the United Kingdom, focused on trade, infrastructure development, and broader economic cooperation. A major outcome of the talks is a $746 million export finance agreement to support the redevelopment of Nigeria's key port in Lagos. President Tinubu was received at number 10 Downing Street, where both leaders held closed-door discussions before addressing the press. At the center of the engagement is a multi-million pounds financing deal backed by UK Export Finance to support the rehabilitation of the Apapa and Tinkan Island port, two of Nigeria's most critical maritime gateways. The financing arrangement will be coordinated by the Citibank, with British Steel expected to supply over 120,000 tons of steel under a separate £70 million contract. Prime Minister Starmer described the visit as historic, noting that it is the first of its kind by a West African leader in nearly 4 decades. Beyond infrastructure, discussions also covered security, cooperation, climate change, and investment opportunities. I'd like you to listen to the President, Bola Tinubu, and the Prime Minister of the UK, Mr. Keir Starmer.
We need a lot of the trade agreements, stimulate more economic relationship that will build our two nations. And Nigeria is currently going through a very strong reform of the economy. And other than the volatility that we will discuss that further in our bilateral discussions. What we are facing is not a small challenge. Currently, the entire world is challenged. And Nigeria is not immune, so is Britain is not immune. I've seen your reaction on television, just watching things as they develop. My concern is, as you rightly said, the economic and the welfare of the people, and how we should work together to improve the livelihood. I mean, mitigating the economic volatility that is coming. And currently we are challenged in being the largest city in the West Africa, country in the West African sub-region, and on the continent, challenged by, terrorism and it comes from the Zaire and the conflict of, climate change and all of that. We will be able to discuss it in bilateral relations and see what Britain can do to accelerate the friendship, partnership, and the collaboration.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Let me say a few words by way of welcome to Downing Street, and thank you for coming here today on what is a historic state visit, the first inward state visit for 37 years. And it was very good, which His Majesty the King hosted us all last night for a most enjoyable dinner with you and your delegation. And it is really good to have you here today. The long and shared history between our countries is obvious and much valued by us, as is the people-to-people contact and engagement that we have and that enriches our lives here in the United Kingdom, as His Majesty the King mentioned in his speech last night. We have a lot of work that we already do on the economy, on defence and security, but today is the opportunity to take that to another level with the agreements that we've been able to reach on exports and our ambition is to go even further than we've already gone with our relationships. And so I really look forward to discussing and wider world affairs as well. And thank you again for being here. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
The board leaders were at the meeting there at number 10 Downing Street. Afterwards, they proceeded in signing different deals and bilateral agreements that have reached today, leading to engagement between both countries in trade, security, defense, and transportation deals that have been signed. Tonight, our attention is in the theater of war and in the Northeast region. We saw the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, visiting victims and having an on-the-spot assessment of what really happened in Borno State in what has become a major resurgence of the insurgents. But that gets our attention, and we'll be going right on the ground to get insight from those who represent the people in that region. But before we get talking, let's serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
The Minister of Works, Mr. David Umahi, says all federal road projects are open to scrutiny by anti-corruption agencies, insisting that there is nothing to hide in the ministry's operations. Mr. Umahi, who stated this during an award presentation in Abuja, notes that the ministry has formally invited the EFCC and ICPC to conduct physical and procurement-based investigations. He added that while the ICPC is already reviewing the processes, the EFCC is expected to begin after the Salah break, noting that the shift to concrete roads and detailed costing systems are in the public interest.
We looked to ICPC to go around and investigate all our projects, not on papers, but to go around and investigate the physical accomplishment of what the president is doing. We also wrote to EFCC.
The governor of Adamawa State, Umar Fintiri, has promised to commit the remaining period of his administration to consolidate on good governance and the upliftment of the standard of living of citizens. The governor restated this at the swearing-in ceremony of 3 new commissioners and a member of the State Election Commission at the government house in Yola, the Adamawa State capital. Governor Fintiri is charging the appointees to introduce fresh ideas, embrace innovation, and collaborate with other members of the Executive Council.
The ideals of transparency, accountability, and people-oriented government Since I've been in office, we have worked tirelessly to position Adamawa State on the path of sustainable development through investment in infrastructure, in education, healthcare, agriculture, human capital development. However, much still needs to be done.
To Taraba State, where members of the People's Democratic Party who are loyal to the Turaki-led National Working Committee have denied the existence of a splinter group within the PDP. The state PDP secretary, who's loyal to the Turaki group, Mr. Musa Istefanus, was reacting to the recently concluded congresses by the Abdurrahman Mohammed-led Caretaker Committee, which produced 2 consensus chairmen in the state. Mr. Istefanus described the congresses as exercises in futility and an act of illegality, and is asking the public to disregard the results of the congresses.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program tonight. Let's get back to this conversation on security and the state of a nation is concerning, isn't it? When we see those who think that have been decimated in some ways are now coming back to hunters and kill innocent Nigerians. So we've seen the Vice President Kashim Shettima, who had now visited, done an on-the-spot assessment of the situation in Borno State, and is reaffirming the federal government's determination to defeat terror. Is vowing that those behind the latest wave of attacks, particularly in the northeast region, will be decisively confronted. The Vice President says beyond President Bola Tinubu's directive for security chiefs to relocate to Borno State, the government is scaling up investment in military equipment and logistics to strengthen ongoing operations. But as attacks persist and communities remain under threat, questions are being raised about the effectiveness and urgency of these measures. Let me allow you to listen to the Vice President Kashim Shettima when he visited some of the victims in the hospital in Borno State.
No matter how long the night is, it must give way to the light of the dawn. We are eternal optimists, or will work harder than ever before to see that full peace is restored. And the government, through the National Emergency Management Agency, I'm here with the DJ. She's a mother, she's a housewife, but she has abandoned her home to be with us here to render succor and support. The Northeast Development Commission is also on board. And of course, the chairman of SEMA, the energetic deputy governor, is also here with us. We render support and succor to the bereaved families and to the sick and wounded. But we want to assure the people that we will not rest on our oars until full peace and sanity is restored in Borno, the Northeast, and the nation as a whole.
That's Vice President Kashim Shettima. Nigerians will be holding on to those words, especially those who feel the gunshot and they heard the gunshots and the tremor of the attacks of some of these terrorists. And we will be assessing the situation as a federal lawmaker representing Borno South, Senatorial District of Borno State, is live for us there in our Meduguri studio. Senator Aline Dume, who is standing by to talk to us. Thanks so much, Senator, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, Sam. How are you?
I'm well, and thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. Senator, you've seen the Vice President Kashim Shettima there commiserating, visiting, doing an on-the-spot assessment of the situation there. Are you worried, or how did the attack in Malam Factory and the environs and the recent attacks that we have seen by these insurgents, how did it come to you, especially as a federal lawmaker in an embattled state of Borno?
Well, Sean, the insurgence of the terrorist activities in Borno is not only worrisome to us that are directly affected, but it's worrisome to the whole Nigerians and by extension the world. Just as we are thinking that we are getting to the end of this situation, they came back, regrouped, and attacked horrifically, killing so many of our soldiers, killing civilians. And now, most recently, just day before yesterday, 3 bombs exploded in various locations, killing over 100 people. And of course, the vice president is in town as I'm speaking to you. And even now, just this evening when I went to the hospital, just as I was leaving the hospital in the accident and emergency ward, another person gave up. So the number keeps going on. I know that there are over 50 people right now on admission at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. That is after admitting over 100 of them. It's actually worrisome. But the good aspect of it is that the government is now becoming serious, and you can see the result, the success they recorded in Malam Faturi when the insurgents regrouped and were trying to unleash a terror on the armed forces there and the place. Fortunately, because of the coordinated response of the Nigerian Air Force, the air component, the ground troops, over 80 of them were eliminated. And of course, 3 of their commanders, top commanders, besides those field soldiers of theirs. What is needed actually is for the government to sustain this activity continuously. And that's the only way that we can bring this to an end, especially now that the president has declared state of emergency and security. As I've been calling, I said, let the government or the president as the commander-in-chief now take charge and walk the talk. This thing can be done. You can see, Sheung, if you look at the viral pictures of these insurgents, ragtag people that are killing our soldiers, it's very, very painful. These are people that even the police or even the community are supposed to be able to deal with them if appropriate things are being done. That is to say, if our people are provided what I have been calling team every time, the training, equipment, ammunition, and motivation of, most importantly, the motivation of our security agencies that are involved. These renewed terror attacks can be dealt with, and I think this is the time, especially now that the American government has brought some and they are willing to now give us what we didn't have at initially. That is
Senator,
intelligence.
Yeah. Let me jump in quickly, Senator. You, as a representative of the people, from getting on the ground, what are the people telling you that you might think that is unusual from the pattern of attacks or the pattern of operation and the attitude and the character of these insurgents? Because it does look like the way they operate looks slightly different from what we have seen in several years.
No, it's virtually the same. It's hit and run. What they do is hit and run. They gather around, pass information around them, and then they now, most dangerously, they get information from some citizens too. They have informants within the society. And you can imagine even the bomb that exploded. It was delivered by Keke Napep. You know, this is not something they package it and give people in Keke Napep to deliver in specific spots. I understand there are more than that are running around or trying to get a way in to carry out their activities. The problem is lack of adequate intelligence. You can imagine the bandits, the terrorists in Nigeria have the audacity to be recording their atrocities on TikTok and then disperse and sending it out to people. I believe that if Ndume's telephone can be tracked and where Ndume or politically exposed persons can be tracked, I begin to wonder what is going on. They have tracking systems all over. I've been warned several times that, look, be careful on what you say on the phone because the phone is being monitored. So if I can be monitored, I kept getting confused as to why can't they come.
Who is monitoring your phone, Senator?
Eh?
Who is monitoring your phone?
You are one of them, maybe.
No,
because
I don't.
you know,
It's a crime. It's a crime. I wouldn't do that. But is there anyone you know that is monitoring your phone?
Then how come you knew that I was in Saudi yesterday and you are calling me?
Well, I'm a journalist. I know stuff, but not like I'm monitoring your phone.
So, okay. So you are tracking me, not monitoring my phone?
Yes, I might be tracking you. I've got information, but not tracking you. I'm monitoring your phone.
Then how come you know that I'm in Maiduguri and you told me that I can come to your studio? So,
yet again, as a journalist, I've got information which helps me, maybe intelligence.
So if you as a journalist can get information about me, what stops the security agencies or the intelligence agencies to get information about the whereabouts or the activities of the terrorists?
Are you inferring that the state is monitoring your phone?
Yeah.
Why would they be monitoring your phone, Senator?
I don't have a problem with that.
Why do you think, are you a person of concern that you think that the federal government might be monitoring your phone or security agencies is tracking and monitoring your phone?
The whole Nigeria is country of concern now, but that's not a big deal anyway. And that is for another day. In fact, that's why I say, why are Nigerians even panicking about this country of particular concern? Because when I run down certain things to the information, even Saudi Arabia is a country of concern. China is a country of concern. Many countries are a country of concern. And they are still dining with the American government. But as I say, this is a different thing altogether. Now that they are willing to assist, I think that is most important. The American government that said they will help us should also walk the talk. I'm in Maiduguri here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd like to know, what is
I'm in Maiduguri here.
What is the true situation of things on the ground that Nigerians are not being told?
Well, I don't think there is any, but the fact of the matter is that we have a problem and which seem to be getting too long, prolonged, and the government, I must say, that they are not walking the talk.
What does that mean? What are they doing that doesn't look like they're doing enough?
The security agencies and soldiers up to now still don't have team, training, equipment, ammunition, and motivation. The government is doing something, yes. The president looks serious, yes. But you don't, if it is not over, it is not over yet. You need to do more. You need to abandon everything and concentrate on security and welfare of citizens. I have said that even if that amounts to shutting down the government, let it be done so that the Nigerian armed forces and other security agencies will be given what they need in order to get this job done. They can do it. They can do it. An example is just day for yesterday, when they moved to Malumputori, and the insurgents tried to play game on them. They disseminated almost all of them, and they are still holding the ground. If we consistently continue like that, these people don't have what the Nigerian armed forces have. But the Nigerian armed forces don't have adequate training, equipment, ammunition, and motivation to execute this program. But they can do it. They cannot do it with bare hand. They cannot do it without air support if the ground troops are going to face the enemy. You could see from Manufactory that there was adequate air cover. And when there was adequate air cover, and coupled with the fact that it is in the desert, you can see them from the top. They did what they need to do, and they were successful. And if we continue like that consistently, I'm telling you that this thing can be done with in less than 6 months, actually. And now that the American government have agreed to give us intelligence support, ammunition, and training, let us see it working.
But look at it. The reason why I ask you about the new patterns and the audacity of insurgents has not been in doubt. They've been very audacious. The way they move around, the way they attack, but the audacity of late of how they take the war and the battle to the military installation and military hierarchy and to the Nigerian military, the audacity, a lot of people say, it's unusual. It's just something that we are not aware of that is going on.
No, I don't think so. You are getting it wrong. What they engage in is hit and run. It's a guerrilla war. It's not like they can stand the Nigerian army. No. It's just that when the Nigerian army are sitting down there or being on their guard, but they don't have enough surveillance, they don't have enough night vision glasses, they don't have enough MRAPs, or what do you call it, on ground, they deploy task force battalion without the task force requirement. The requirement of a task force battalion is very clear. I cannot see it anywhere in Nigeria up to now. They don't have. A battalion like that of Goza, for example, or a brigade, are supposed to have a standby helicopter in that place on a platform, which can be done within a day or so. And deploy a helicopter, and they have information. If they know that there is a helicopter standing and waiting for them in Goza, for example, they dare not go, because if they dare go, that means they are committing suicide. You know, from the air, they cannot escape, even if it's on the Mandara Mountain, wherever, you can. But when they don't have that equipment, I doubt so much if we have even enough platforms in Maiduguri now. Yes, we have problems everywhere, almost all over. But even if it means, as I repeat again, that government should shut down and then concentrate on getting the security, this issue, give Nigerians peace. Nigerians will clap for it. They will welcome that. I don't know what the government is doing when you spend over 50, or you budget 58 trillion, and then you spend almost like how many, 30 or so, 20 trillion on personnel and overhead, while they are not doing anything, or we are not doing anything. People are not working, yet you are paying them.
But Senator Nduman, you are one person that has spoken loudly about the welfare and the manner in which the tactics against these insurgents should go. You spoke loudly when you were Senate Committee Chair on the Army during the Muhammadu Buhari tenure. And when we wonder that, have we learned anything from what happened in the past in our quest to winning the war against insurgents, or we are merely repeating some of the mistakes and the errors of the past? Is that what is going on? Are we behaving like we have not learned anything?
No, I don't think so. To be fair to this president, specifically President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, I think, and I had a one-on-one interaction with him just recently. He's committed and serious about the matter, but the president alone cannot be able to do all these things, especially when he has people around him that are not actually interested in solving this problem. All they are interested, I think, is about what they can get out of the government, but not what they can do for the people or the government. So the government, the president, that is not an excuse. The buck stops at the table of the president. The president has to now realize and sit up and really, prove that he is in charge. I have said to his face that he needs to create a situation room in the villa. He needs to be on the phone. He needs to call people and say what's going on. He needs to get the briefing every morning and every evening. He needs to put his people on top. And the Nigerian army needs to be given what they need, not just promises to say, okay, we are going to do this and you don't see it. We are going to do this and you don't see it. No, even if it means, as I said before, hiring attack helicopters and deploying them to various black spots, you can do that. You can get attack helicopters. Black waters are there. Is it the French Legion or Legion? They are executive. These are all private military contractors. It's not a shame, even America that is coming to help us, rely on private military contractors for some of their engagements. I don't see why the president cannot. And lastly, I don't see why the armed forces chiefs will be going to Minister of Finance or Minister of whoever to be asking cup in hand for their allocation. They don't give them their allocation at the wrong time. I was so mad last time to discover that even the February salary Go and check. It was paid in March.
Of the soldiers?
Yes. Go and check.
I mean, take a look at this. The government of the APCs made several promises. And in this war, the bullets don't know political parties, don't know ethnicity. It just knows one thing. It takes lives. And that a lot of people will be upset when there are promises being made that we will protect you, we will save lives, we will chase away these people, we will kill the insurgents. And here we are, almost 3 years in the Bola Tinubu government and administration. And that those who will say, we are frustrated, we thought that his promises of keeping Nigerians safe will be kept. Is your party a failure in this sense? Are you able to come clean as a member and a leader of that party to say, yes, there are failures of your party, beg for forgiveness of Nigerians, and maybe come clean to say, you are going to fix things going forward? Are you able to be honest in doing that, Senator?
Well, Sean, you see, you are in Nigeria, and you should know better. There is no political party in Nigeria. Which one is political party? I myself, as you see, I was in APC. We changed it to ANPP. Now I went to PDP. After that, we formed APC. So when you are saying it's government of APC, if you say we politicians, that's a much better description than talking about. Even those guys that are in the opposition or in the coalition, all of them have been either in APC, ACN, or they are the same people, or we are the same people, but we have not changed. So the problem is not that of parties, no. Which is party? The party that is just a platform and all that. You don't blame them. If you say you are group, that is we that are in group of APC supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is our presidential candidate and also a Nigerian. If you say, okay, you guys, even the politicians that you are talking about that are trying to take over, they are not providing alternative. They have not changed. They are the same people. We are the same people. Let me use that word. So the problem now is that of we, the leadership, those that the Nigerians entrusted with leadership, including some of you in every organization, including yourself, Shegun, because the way you talk sometimes, you are more than a politician. You shape opinion in Nigeria. So when it comes to blame, you blame Alin Dume and the co, but you don't want to take the responsibility as Nigeria. You are not asking for what you can do to Nigeria, but you are asking for what people like Dume can do, which is wrong.
But I'm not a politician. I did not make promises to Nigerian people. I'm just doing my job. But you are one of those who have made promises to Nigeria. Vote for our party. We will keep you safe. But you have failed in doing that. But are you able to honestly say you have failed, but you have learned your lesson and you're going to fix it? Are you able to do that, Senator?
Well, it's
a failure of your party, isn't it?
It's failure of all of us. I must commend the president for doing better than the previous ones. His commitment to this issue, addressing the issue of security, is not in doubt, whether you like it or not. It is not just there to sit down. I'm thinking that the opposition will be coming out with what the president needs to do in order to solve this problem, not just blaming the president and saying that he has failed in his promises. This is somebody that has shown commitment. Actually, what is the show of commitment? For example,
the reason why I'm saying that is that you will see the likes of Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, Rotimi Amechi, those who are eyeing to be Nigeria's president and have the ticket in 2027, already using issues of security as a tool to say this government has failed. And that's the question. He who comes to equity must come in clean hands. Your party, your government has campaigned to Nigerians, promised Nigerians. Well, Senator, you are one and the same of people who will go on the podium and saying that you are the best that has happened to Nigeria in terms of political party and leading an association. But I'm asking you, Senator, a third time tonight, that elections are coming. Nigerians want to get the confidence. Your party has failed. Are you able to acknowledge that and tell Nigerians that you have learned your lesson? Because people are dead. People are being killed. And this is a serious matter. Are we able to get confidence from those of you who are leading this country that you are able to keep Nigerians safe, Senator?
Well, You seem to be talking with the mindset, which I cannot help, and that is how you have been for a long time. You know, it's maybe me that I'll be able to defend myself against all these talks. But you cannot. I'm not in doubt that the president is committed. I'm talking about the president. I'm not talking about others. But the president is committed, and the president alone cannot do it. And I have been critical of the president's team in the way they do things. Anybody, I believe, even if it is myself, I can tell myself the truth. All these people that are talking about opposition, which is good and natural. I've been in the opposition all my life, and even in APC, you know that I've been critical about on issues, even the president. But that is not to say that you write off the government, because the government that we have now is not interested in making Nigerians suffer. It doesn't make sense. But when you don't know how to make Nigerians happy, it becomes another problem. The opposition that you are talking about, I don't want to talk about personalities now, but I want people to be talking not about election, not about who takes over or the personality, but talking about governance. What is it that this government should do? That is what I want to hear from those. Or what is it that I'm going to do when election comes? But election is yet to come. So why don't we concentrate on governance? I have said it before. I told my president, or the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, recently, that he should concentrate on securing the country and making sure that Nigerians' welfare has improved, instead of talking about 2027. And it should not be carried away by this bunch of people that are decamping. If I said it before, and I'm saying it here again, that the politicians are decamping, but the people or the electorates or those people that will elect us are not decamping. And worse still now, that if something is not done to bring back the confidence, you can see that people that are supposed to, or those people that will vote during the election, whether for us or for whoever, are being killed just indiscriminately. They have been massacred by bandits, terrorists, and all sorts of criminals around. And that is what the government is supposed to do. And I think the president is open to that. He has said it even recently, that he is open to criticism, which is okay. But that is not enough. As I've said, you should walk the talk. And by walking the talk, is you should look inward. Those people that are around there, are they serious? There are quite a number of people. You can't condemn all of them. There are quite a number of good people around him. But I say it severally, that majority of those guys around Mr. President are nothing but kakistocrats.
Give me a moment, Senator. We'll go on a break, but when we return, there are more critical questions as to the state of things in our country today, particularly on how we can win the war against these killers, these insurgents, and these people who are just out there to destabilize our country. But yet, is the government serious? Are the politicians walking the talk? And these conversations will bring us to how the APC and the ADC are up against each other. It's a battle of wit as to how 2027 politics will go. More after this break, everyone. Let us again. Everyone for staying with us on the program. Senator Ali Ndume is the senator representing Borno State in the National Assembly, and has been speaking with us from Maiduguri, from our studio there. Thanks so much indeed, Senator.
Thank you, Shehu.
I'd like you to comment on the statement made by the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff, as to the need of communities to be part of the campaign against these insurgents. I'd like to know what your views are. Take a listen to what he said.
Today is to ensure that in future, this will not repeat itself. So we're looking at modalities, we're looking at lessons learned so that in future this will not repeat itself. But I must say something here that's very important. This challenge is something that we've been going all around for the past 15 years or thereabout. And I want to put it out here clearly this afternoon that for us to end this act of terrorism, the people of Borno State and Yobe State must take ownership of this problem. Because the bulk of the people perpetrating these heinous acts are from these states. And we're actually looking at the kind of technology they're using so that we can do research and development of it and see how we can, improve on it and checkmate what they are doing.
Senator, what's your view? Are we saying that these insurgents, some of them are from Borno State, some of them are from Yobe State? Is that exactly what we're talking about here?
Yeah, that is true. You cannot have insurgents coming from outside to attack a town without insiders. So most of the insurgents in my local government are from my local government. Most of those that attacked Ngoshe, for example, recently, the recent one, you can hear from their accent they are from Ngoshe. And I totally agree with what the CDS said. We have to take ownership. And let me tell you, all these ragtag people, what is the difference? They are not even strong enough. And they look wretched. The only thing they have is that AK-47 or the gun in their hand. If they know that a community in every household, they are likely to have somebody with gun, they will not come near that place.
But who are these people giving them these guns? We've talked about exposing the sponsors of this terror. Who are the sponsors?
They are not even sponsors, so to say. I cannot be talking on speculation. But you know that if they attack a military command, they normally cut away because it's of the hit and run. The soldiers are virtually exposed. They don't have any good cover. They don't have armored protection. They don't even have, until recently, I have not seen a Nigerian soldier holding a new AK-47, all the through that have been chairman of army. But recently, this government, I saw recently Nigerian soldiers wearing common uniform. But before, you hardly get 10 soldiers in a parade wearing the same uniform. Some will be brown, some will be green, some will be light green and all that. But recently, the government is improving. And as I said, I support CDS, but they are supposed to start the initiative. What I did, it has been my position, even before they introduced this kinetic or non-kinetic stuff. If they had done community policing suggested by DGSS, now they have this forest guard. If our community are equipped, and they would stand up to protect themselves, we are ready to
Senator,
do that. And
what difference will it make? And how effective would it be if the president's order to service chief to relocate to Borno State? What change would that battlefield outcomes? What change will it make?
Oh, it makes a lot of change. Their coming yesterday is well appreciated. I personally appreciate it. It's in our culture. If you, Shehu, now, the first thing, if your sister or brother dies, and I didn't call you to commiserate or condole you, you will get angry and say, Ndume is my friend, but my sister died. He didn't even call me to commiserate. You know that even if I commiserate with you, your sister will not come back. But you take it very serious. So this is what is the difference. It's government of the people for the people. The vice president, as I said, is here. I would have appreciated if the president stopped over. But that kind of a thing is in our culture. So there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, their coming made a lot of difference.
Give us an understanding, Senator. I'll take you to a bit of politics now. The 2027 election has effectively started because the calendar is out and the schedule of activities and those items on the schedule of activities have already effectively begun. With what we're seeing, it does look like ADC is ready to give your party run for its money. And there are those who are already campaigning and saying that Atiku Abubakar is the man that will beat Bola Tinubu and the APC. And those who will say, if it's Peter Obi, if he comes again and get a ticket, it will defeat and decimate the APC. Are you worried with some of the things that are yet to be done by your party and the fulfillment of or the performance of the promises made at the polls could jeopardize or could ensure that your party is ousted in 2027? Does that give you a worry in any way, Senator?
No, I'm not. You know why? Because there's nothing, nobody is coming up with something new. Everybody is talking about is either Bola Ahmed Tinubu or Atiku or Amechi or Peter Obi. I don't see anything that they put on the table. The man holding the steering now is Tinubu, but those that are trying to take over, and the ADC itself, every day is here and there. Initially, I had a lot of confidence, but when you find people concentrating on themselves or the power that they can get or do, that makes me kind of say. So it's not a big deal. The threat to me is not there because up to now, despite the fact that they have strong personalities, they have not been able to actually put their house in order. But you can't wish away, I said it before, you can't underrate any opposition, no matter how small. Remember, that was how PDP was thinking about APC initially, that the APC is not serious. Buhari tried severally, he didn't make it. So I'm not writing Atiku, Obi, or Amechi off, but and that is necessary. A strong opposition is important. We have it in the US where we are copying their democracy. The Democrats that are out of government narrowly, and they are on the Republicans' neck, even though they always get away slightly with what they want. And so in every democracy, having a strong opposition is very, very important.
So the question is, 3 years or so down the line, since President Bola Tinubu took over the helm of affairs of this country, there will be people who will be asking now that, and the president has said it himself, that if he doesn't provide some things like power, if he comes back to ask for votes, Nigerians should not vote for him. So in that light, do you think Nigerians should vote for Bola Tinubu in 2027 with what your party has done and the commitment that have been made? Will it suffice to convince Nigerians?
Nigerians will decide on that, but let me say one thing. Now, you can't say that in 3 years of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government, nothing has been done. No. He has done a lot of things, but as I said, it has been overshadowed or covered by two things: security and welfare of citizens. I'm betting on it that if Mr. President, now that he has declared state of emergency, walks the talk and Nigerians are free of fear, of insecurity, if Nigerians can afford living, Nigerians can get power. This power stuff, the structure is there. It is only the management. If the government is serious and you have serious people on ground, why not? There will be power. And once there is power, once there is security, once the welfare of Nigerians improve, Nigerians, the other party can go from house to house. They will not get anything. But of course, what is happening now is as if the ADC is not a threat. To me, ADC is not the threat. People are the threat. If people as they are now, they are not happy with Nigerians and they are angry. They don't care.
Do you think that people are happy with your party today? With the situation of things in the country? Do you think Nigerians are happy with your party with the situation of things in the country today?
Can't you see everybody is decamping to the party?
Oh, does that show happiness of the Nigerian people, not politicians who are decamping?
I'm not sure even if you are not part of the APC, because everybody is going to APC. Are you going to stay
as a
alone?
politician, the last time I checked, I never belonged to any political party. I don't know what it will take. I don't think I will ever. I don't have interest in politics or joining any political party. I'm satisfied with doing the job. This is my own calling here. So the question, Senator, is that are Nigerians happy with your party, the promises you made? You think that if you go to the polls today, they will not stone you rather than vote for you?
I'm in Maiduguri. I cannot talk about everybody, but I can talk to myself. I go around, you know.
I'm talking about your party, whether or not your party can win an election at the presidency if an election is called tomorrow.
Those people that you are talking about have never been tried. So, you know, it's easy to, you know, talk about when you have not been tried. This is not, as I said, our problem is security and welfare of citizens, and then keeping up to some of those things and getting them right. Some of the policies that the government put in place, if they start yielding results, you know, Nigerians would be happy about it. One good thing about Nigerians is that they are forgivable. If you offend them and you ask for forgiveness or things turn around, they will put it behind. So don't write a APC off. And I cannot say that Nigerians are happy with all that we are doing. But at the same time, I cannot say that the opposition is a big threat, because we are all on one. All the same. They are all the same politicians that move from either PDP or APC and then to go and form ADC. What Nigerians want is not grouping of people, but let there be peace, let there be security. If you say our party is not popular, I disagree with you. After all, you see that every day, even tomorrow or next tomorrow, I think, the governor of Zamfara State is decamping to APC. The governor of which state again? As they decamp to APC. Even PDP, the balance of ADC, PDP are decamping to APC. The people in the LP are all decamping. In fact, I'm so scared that there may be no party except APC. So, and then if you don't have another party, you only have APC, which party do you vote for again?
Does that mean well for our democracy? Is that the kind of democracy we should be running? Where everyone is in one political party.
I have said it now. I have expressed my fear. We are going to have two parties, it seems. The people and the APC.
Senator Ali Ndume, thank you so much indeed. Thank you for allowing me to barge into your Salah celebration, and I hope that you have
wait a minute. I'm not celebrating, actually. With what has happened to us, I've been to hospital. I'm coming from the hospital to your place, to your studio. Even as I told you, as I went into emergency, an accident emergency, one person gave up. So the number has gone up by one. You can't be happy under this. But alhamdulillah, I came back with the governor from Saudi. We have prayed, we have prayed, we have prayed. And as I said, there is hope because the president also is committed. But it is not over until it is completely over.
All right.
The president needs to stand up. Everybody needs to stand up. And I agree with the CDS that we are supposed to own this problem. In fact, the Borno state government is doing that. He has committed a lot of resources into it. If everybody is doing the same, and we are so much committed, I'm assuring you that this thing will come to an end.
Right.
Let all our leaders, especially the governors in the north, let them be as committed as the governor of Borno State.
Right.
And I'm telling you that this thing will come to an end. Now the soldiers need logistics and support. They need MRAPs that some state governors can buy and give it to them.
Right. Senator.
Get MRAPs. Yes.
Some of us need to go and pray and break our fast at this time. But thanks so much, Senator, for coming on the program.
I know you are not fasting and you cannot fast.
You'll be shocked. Thanks so much, Senator Ali Ndume, Senator representing Borno State in the National Assembly. Thanks so much for your time tonight on the program.